Hello again and welcome. So today I wanted to share a Toy Story 3 Hornby train set project, but rather than use the standard oval track that comes with the kit, I wanted to recreate the opening scene of Toy Story 3 where the evil Dr. Porkchop decides to blow up the bridge, causing the train to hurtle off the end of the track. And as an added bonus, inspired by the Swiss clock in Leicester Square, I decided to integrate the train with my Alexa. So on the hour, the train will do a couple of circuits of the track, similar to a cuckoo clock. Echo, start train.
All aboard the Santa Express.
So here's a quick look at the track installed on my kitchen ceiling, and as you can see I can control it via my Alexa. Next I'll take you through the steps and components required for this build. So crucial to this build is a DC shuttle controller. What this allows you to do is to run your train across a length of track with terminus points either end. When the train reaches the terminus point, rather than continuing along, it will stop, go into reverse and return to its start point. You can imagine this is pretty handy when you've got your track installed on a ceiling. And I found this little device made by a company called Blocksignalling. It's a shuttle controller with a built-in speed controller. But I won't be covering the DC shuttle controller in this video, but I have made a previous video covering the Blocksignalling's SS2A in a lot of detail in the previous video, and I will link in the description below. I believe there are tools available to make cuts in your track, but I've used a Dremel to make my breakpoints. I would highly recommend that you build your track layout on the floor to begin with, so this will enable you to precisely map out your breakpoints, avoiding any costly mistakes. This part is optional, but it's probably a good idea to fill your cuts with a hard setting adhesive just to prevent any shorts. To install the track onto the ceiling, I use these gutter brackets as they were the perfect width and height to accommodate a double O gauge track, as well as being cheap as chips. So to connect your Amazon Echo to your train, you will need a compatible smart plug, and you will be using this to connect either your speed controller, or in the case of the SS2A, which has a built-in speed controller, the power supply of the DC shuttle controller directly to this plug. So assuming that you have added a smart plug, you're now ready to move on to the next step, which is to add a routine. So on your Alexa app, select routines. Now I've already added a routine for each hour, but let's take a look at midnight in more detail. Probably a good idea actually to start at 12 o'clock. I'll explain why in a moment. So first of all, you name your routine. Now I've just named mine as per the 24-hour clock. The first thing you want to add is the volume, which I've set to 5. That works for me. And next I've added 12 church bell sounds. In case you're not familiar, I'll show you where to find that. So you just want to hit this plus button here, scroll down, you'll see something called sounds. Under bells and buzzers, there are a number of chimes that you can select, or if being in the festive season, you might want to choose Christmas bells under festive season, or really whatever takes your fancy. So let's go back. So you want to add 12 church bells. Now the next command is train power on. Now train is referring to the name that I called my smart plug, so whatever you call your smart plug, that's what you're going to need to add for the next command. Then you want to add a wait command. I've selected 4 minutes 20 seconds because that works for the size of my layout. That gives me 3 circuits and returns the train back to its start position. And then finally train power off. So the reason why I suggested that it might be a good idea to start at 12 o'clock is because we are now going to need to add a routine for each hour of the day. So let's say 11 o'clock, but rather than laboriously adding 11 church bells again, what we can do, if we click on these 3 buttons in the top right hand corner, you will see it gives you the option to copy actions to a new routine. So in this case we will copy the actions and simply just delete one of the church bells, and likewise when you do 10 o'clock, copy the actions of 11 o'clock and just delete one of the church bells, making life a lot easier. And here's a demo of how it all works in practice. As always, any questions please leave in the comments below, and wishing you all a merry and safe Christmas and hopefully a COVID-free New Year.